Welcome. As I draw the curtains to make my first appearance on this course, let me flash my inspiration, my strength on the screen. I'm Ajoy Basu. TRP is the mother of all my training and mentoring courses. My offering of Job Performance Enhancement Mastery 2 comes under the umbrella of TRP. TRP is my core brand, under which I have developed the Complete Manager, the Meeting Jockey, Riaz, and HRCI. We'll come to that later. We'll dwell on each of them going forward. Let us first get into the course proper. I'll welcome you formally now to the course Job Performance Enhancement Mastery. I can imagine what will be the questions that lurk in your mind. What is in it for me? What can I expect from this course? How will it make a difference to me, my career, my prospects going forward? Why do I really need to pursue this course? These questions are natural, automatic, I should say. So to answer them, let me pose two fact-finding questions to you. Logical starting points. What is your performance by default today? It means that given your present knowledge, skills and temperament, I am bringing it in from the viewpoint of emotional intelligence. We'll come to that later. So when your KST, that is your knowledge, skills and temperament, that's my pet acronym, KST, how well will you perform important tasks right now at your workplace? These are the core tasks that you do today. How well has two parameters to it. The quality of your performance and two, the time taken for you to perform the tasks. So the efficiency matters. I'm actually referring to your baseline of correct performance, the minimum guaranteed performance that I can expect from you. My second question for self-evaluation is, what is your prescription for success? Prescription, in common parlance, if you ask someone, is something which you associate with a doctor. I've purposely not used the term recipe. I've used prescription instead, because recipe tells you what you need to do now. Prescription goes one step further, when you should do it and how you should space it. So the prescription tells you what medicine you need to consume, what therapy you need to follow, and it tells you how many times a day you need to take the medicine or the frequency with which you need to follow the therapy. It is a comprehensive direction and guide on how to go forward in taking the treatment from the doctor. So Job Performance Enhancement Mastery will guide you to identify, one, the areas which you need to work on to substantially enhance your performance standards, and two, design and lay down a prescription that is non-negotiable, because you need to be very disciplined in doing that, and it can change the course of your career, and I should say life. There are many who say that it has brought about a major change to their lives. As we go along, you'll be introduced to the concepts of TRP, that is translation from resource to performance, the Complete Manager, Meeting Jockey, and Riaz, all vitally linked to this course, which my mentees tell me are game changers in themselves. Let me put forth one more query on your behalf. Will I be able to do it? In this online version, I have infused the best of all my training programs. This course is the juice of rather long experience as a teacher, trainer, mentor, and of course a practicing professional. You'll come to know that I am a professional accountant and a chartered secretary. I practice in that field. There are many who have personally attended my workshops, training and mentoring sessions. The responses have been so positive and overwhelming, it's natural that I wanted to disseminate it online to reach a wider audience. And more important, make this course the guiding light of your life. This course will find its way into your mind and heart. It will happen almost unself-consciously to you, automatically I should say. Let's get into the course master modules and the contents. I've distributed the course proper into three master modules. The first is foundational. The second and third will handhold you through the skills, apart from the initial skills that I put across in Master Module 1. So what do I do in the first Master Module? We have the introduction, we have the series of topics and subtopics which we cover under that. When we get into them, you will unravel that much more. We'll unravel HRCI, the mantra of success. If you want to make an extraordinary impact to your career and change the course of your life, for your career majorly affects your personal life, HRC will help you to unfold. It's about hard work, riyaz, curiosity, and imagination. Very, very vital components. TRP is translation from resource to performance. It is the seamless transition from idea to the delivery. So how do you optimize this process? That will be covered in module 1. Plan and execute your riyaz. Riyaz will come again and again in this. It is the backbone of my course. It will be the critical schedule. We talked about the prescription, which is transformative. That is riyaz for you very briefly. Build your personality. If I asked you what's your personality, each one will have a different connotation. We'll fix that and tell you why your personality matters so much. Master the keyboard. When you master the keyboard without looking down at the keyboard, except for typing on special character keys, you will be able to type from A to Z and Z to A, that is without looking at the keyboard. You'll be able to type from 1 to 10, 10 to 1, then 145, 258, 369 in any numerical, logical or illogical pattern very quickly. The very fact that you can type from A to Z and Z to A without looking at the keyboard means that you have made the keyboard an extension of yourself. After acquiring this capability, there are many who have actually multiplied the productivity from 2 to 4 times as you eliminate an important bottleneck which stifles your efficiency in processing an idea to a piece of work which is visible on the screen of your computer in a seamless manner. If you're going to look down at the keyboard, then look up at the screen, again down at the keyboard, and you do it 100 times a day, it's not just a pain in the neck, you're compromised. You're very badly disrupted. That is about master the keyboard. Very important skill that you need to master. Coming to the next slide, we come to Master Module 2. Master Module 2 takes you to the world of communication. A huge area. I've put in a lot of material there. So I believe that you get a great idea. To get a great idea, you need knowledge. Without knowledge, updated knowledge, what idea and what quality of idea can you get? So you get an idea, you need to have the skills to process the idea. Riyaz will ensure that. The prescription makes you practice those skills. Then you need the word power, the sentence power, construct of the sentence. Work manifests in 2 forms, spoken and the written. Common to spoken and written, you need to have a great idea which emanates from the abundance or profusion of updated knowledge. Then you have the processing of the idea. The next step, as I said, is to put the processed idea in the form of an expression which requires the word power, sentence power, and construct of the sentence. I need to reiterate that because I think they are very fundamental concepts that you need to ingrain in your mind. You need to now speak or put it on the screen of the computer. In respect of putting it on the screen, we discussed that your keyboard skills are very important and should be mastered, else you'll be compromised. In written communication, the keyboard skill assumes paramount importance. It will be a dampener if you lack that ability, and your productivity will lag behind despite you being so good in your core domain. Apart from training you in word power, sentence power, and construct of the sentence, we will train you in punctuation, covering the use of the colon, semicolon, period, brackets, etc. On the spoken side, we have good coverage of pronunciation skills, public speaking, voice modulation. Let me tell you, in my career of more than 3 decades, I've seen a lot of people struggling because they were unable to communicate one-to-one, one-to-many, and in public speaking. Some are good at one-to-one, but are at a loss when speaking to a group or to a crowd. They seem to have a morbid fear of that. One of the important objectives of this course and module is to make you prolific at both written and spoken communication. Then we'll cover the meeting jockey. The meeting jockey is a huge productivity multiplier. If Riyaz is the backbone of my training programs under the banner of TRP, the meeting jockey is the one that runs the operating system. Without these, I'll be paralyzed. Of course, you have the complete manager in HRCI too. Meeting jockey is something that we will cover. It is something which I have devised. I've patented this concept. I'm often engaged, let me tell you, in this role as a meeting jockey to increase the productivity of meetings and brainstorming sessions manifold. I've trained many to be a meeting jockey. This course will train you to become a meeting jockey. You'll be the darling of the management when they have to brainstorm or to critically evaluate in a spot meeting of about 20 minutes. Then we have storing and recalling rapidly from memory. You may have all the knowledge and skill sets which are critical to your work performance, but if you cannot summon them from the inner frame of recall and deploy it instantaneously, you will struggle. Listening skills, we have touched upon that. We have brought out select points about listening, negotiation. They say you need to negotiate with everyone on this earth and also with God if you have to get your slice of something. Otherwise, you won't get the things you want. Process mapping and internal control, another huge area. Here the presumption is that 90% of your operations can be standardized. Any business entity, the operations to the extent of 90% can be routinized, standardized. And if they have to be standardized, you should know how to map the processes and use flowcharts for that. You need to do more research on that, but we have given a pretty good insight into what goes into that and an actual demonstration of how you can create a flowchart for mapping the process. And then we have talked about how to optimally manage your time. With Riyaz itself, I ensure that the productivity of participants, people whom I mentor, increase manifold, 2 to 3 times, and that creates a lot of time for them. Then the saved time can be utilized to do more work, which will result in rapid strides in your career. Then we come to the final part, to the Master Module 2, which is about achieving higher emotional intelligence, an area which I started reinforcing some years back. I believe that has become more and more significant in the arsenal of a candidate, of an employee who is performing at the corporate level. Unless you are emotionally balanced, in control of your emotions, and understand the emotions of others, empathizing with them at the corporate level, you will find that it is a barrier that can hurt you very badly. There are many good people, good performers who could not progress any further because temperamentally they were suspect. Emotionally, they could not handle the pressure well. We now come to Master Module 3. Master Module 3 is extra technical. You need to go through Master Module 3 to build and reinforce your numbers orientation apart from certain other skills. Because it's extra technical, most of you will revisit the topics of this module. In fact, on the point of revisiting topics, I have seen that communication skills, process mapping, and the keyboard familiarity typing tutor guide rank the highest in terms of being referred to repeatedly. You can say that this module has skills which are esoteric in the sense that many in the mid and higher echelons of management will not be fluent in them at the application levels. If you are on top of these specific skills, you will be noticed and appreciated by the management for knowing and possessing such knowledge and skill sets. Which are these skill sets? Achieving strong numbers orientation. I'm teaching you 60 plus must-know Excel spreadsheet functions formulae. Most of them are advanced, quite advanced. But knowing them, practicing them is important. You need to practice at least 15 of them a day. You will soon reach a stage of expertise in a few weeks due to repeated practicing, and you will be able to practice 15 of them in about 12 to 15 minutes or even less as you go forward. Because the moment you look at it, and with your keyboard familiarity which you have acquired, your typing orientation is so fast that you can practice them in a jiffy. Numbers orientation, of course, also requires you to grasp the basics of accounting and financial management. I've also dwelt on that. Then you will learn to prepare a business plan. When you say a business plan, that is on the spreadsheet. You have made the assumptions about how the business would fare, say in the next 5 years. You now have to make the projections on the spreadsheet. You will be borrowing from the applications of Excel, which you are slated to learn in this Master Module 3. So a business plan will have the projected financials of balance sheet, the profit and loss account, as they say in this part of the world, rather than the income statement, cash flows, and many other supporting schedules such as the statement of working capital, capex, assumptions, velocities, depreciation, projected expenses, tax computations, key financial indicators, etc. About 15 to 20 sheets stitched together. So we have also devised a small project, a scenario which you will actually work out yourself, putting together the business plan. In this we have a plain vanilla model which does not have too many sheets, but they say you start with a plain simple model, and then once you get the hang of it, you will be able to extrapolate it to any size. The fundamental principles have to crystallize, have to be implanted in your mind so that you gain a foothold in it. There are many people who have developed a visceral allergy, thinking that it's too complex and that it is the finance and accounting guys who have to deal with it. You can easily learn that. Then we have the management information report for the stakeholders. How would you design one? This is a specific one which you will be sending as CEO or someone in the top management to an investor who is sitting thousands of miles away. The investor has put in a lot of money into your business. You are the custodian of that investment, running the operations of that company. You have to relay information, and you have to design the MIR in such a way that it will convey authentic information about how the business is faring at the moment and how it is positioned in terms of its state of affairs and operations, with the key performance indices clearly reflecting them. This is an important area. There is a demonstration of a live report with a template and some contents therein, which again will be very fascinating for you. Then we come to dissecting financials. Here we are not talking about dissecting the financials of another company in the first place. You should know where your own company stands. When the stakeholders realize that you as an employee of the company is so conversant with the financial dynamics of the company, and you evince an interest in that, and you're taking a macro view of the company right from the top, thousands of feet from the top, getting a picture of how it looks from there, so that's strategic in thought. You will be seen as a person who is destined to hold higher positions in the company in the future. I talk about using the microscope and the telescope. Both are required if you have to stride ahead in the business. This is about dissecting the financials. You will find this very interesting. You will dissect the financials of your company, then go on to dissect the financials of competitors, suppliers. Some of them you may be going to be associated with them, or with a prospective customer. You need to know whether they are creditworthy, about their immediate solvency, short-term solvency, long-term solvency, whether they are in place or not. And if you can gather that, compute that in about 20 to 30 minutes, that's a terrific advantage you have. Anyone will respect you for that. Then we have legal contract drafts review. If the management gives you a 100-page document of a draft contract, which is sent by the solicitors, and invite your views on that, saying, Ajoy, just go through that and tell me whether they have missed anything. Is it comprehensive enough? Whether it takes care of our interest? Looking at the size of the document, sleep, let me tell you, will be instantaneous. It can be the most sleep-inducing experience you can have. But you will not be able to progress much in the higher echelons of management unless you have a bit of legal acumen. You don't need to be the solicitor, but you need to have the ability to analyze a legal document which is going to be finalized. The best is to do it before it is finalized, because once it is signed, executed, and there is a lacune or a blunder and your interests are unknowingly compromised, you can pay a heavy price for it. It has happened many a time. So how would you critically evaluate a draft of the legal document that has come to you? Because I do that, my team does that, I thought let me put it on the course and I'll guide you through that. Improving business etiquette, another huge area. I believe business etiquette is a sine qua non, because you may have all the knowledge and skills, but unless you conduct yourself appropriately, you will struggle to relate to people. Business is about teamwork. Teamwork is about relationships. And the bedrock of all that is being fair and empathetic. Of course, your value systems have to be in place. You need to inculcate and follow a very fine set of business etiquette. You need to practice that. Today, in the world of multinational and business entities, the challenge is that much more. In my experience of dealing with personnel in multinational companies hailing from multicultural backgrounds, I know it is important how you can position yourself appropriately with them. And finally, we have self-assertiveness. Self-assertiveness for me is the outcome of all this. Self-assertiveness is to make your presence felt. Should I say the courage to speak? Or you feel so timid to stand up and speak, and the belief that you will be disregarded or that people will not pay heed to you. Your voice won't be heard. Do you have that apprehension? If you have all that we have discussed up to now, all that is contained in the master modules and the topics we have covered up to now, self-assertiveness, let me say, will be an automatic emanation from it. But yet there are some points further to that which you need to keep in mind. Especially whether you have the characteristics, the qualities of being aggressive or not being self-assertive enough. That means at a diffident level. Then you need to be very watchful of that. They're all interlinked, and you will find the module on self-assertiveness quite fascinating. So we will soon get right into the subject specifics delineated above. We will understand the concepts, their importance, and the way you can incorporate them in your riyaz. Riyaz comes again and again and again. Thereby, you will pursue the TRP system lifelong, and nothing will stop you from scaling the echelons of management to the level you aspire to reach. I look forward to, and I'm already delighted to bring the 3 master modules to you.